welcome back to my channel. So exactly 2 people asked for it, but you shall receive. This is my stats video on how I got into Cornell. So there'll be a few topics that I'll go over today, and I'll list them right here. So I will go over the demographics and the aspects of my application that I can't really choose, SAT score, GPA, classes, extracurricular activities, any of awards that I won, and finally the essay and how to really tie that into your application. But I think before we get into it, I think we should talk about just like the best way to present yourself. If you guys aren't familiar, a spike is where you have like this deep passion and this deep talent for a certain topic, or a deep passion for multiple topics. It's a big topic for college application because people believe that they need a spike in order to get into a good school and stuff. I thought this for a certain extent. I was like,
oh my god, I have no awards relating to what I want to study, and I thought that meant I couldn't get into any good schools.
What I have to say about spikes are that they're really rare, and props to anyone who has a big spike in a particular field, but me personally, I didn't have a big spike. My interest going into college was to study psychology, neuroscience, just how the brain works, and so I didn't have a big spike in that per se, but I branded myself through my application, and I went on to apply for certain opportunities that would demonstrate my interest towards that topic. When I was in junior in high school, I saw this girl in my school, she got into Cornell, and so I DM'd her. I'm like, hey, what was your secret? What would you tell your younger self if you were to do this application process again? And she told me to tell a cohesive story through my application and to really brand myself as a particular person. So what I did was I took that upon myself the summer of my junior year to find opportunities that were related to psychology and neuroscience, and to just really excel at academics as well, so that I could sort of brand myself as the hardworking, high-achieving psychology student. And that's what I ended up doing in my application. First topic I want to go over is demographic, and what that means is your age, your gender, your race, and even where you live and your family income. So for me, without giving too much away, I'm an Asian American, I am a woman, and my family's middle class, and I live in New York. But I feel like since Cornell is a school in New York, the class of 2023, they accepted like 33% of their kids were from New York. So I think me being also from New York might have boosted my chances of getting in. And also the school that I go to a high-ranking public school in New York, and I feel like the opportunities and the support that I was given at the school really helped me with my application and my high school career. Moving on from all that, let's go into SAT scores. So I applied to Cornell's College of Arts and Science, and for the 2020-2021 application cycle, they did not require an SAT score. But my junior year, I took the SAT 3 times, and I'll put it up on the screen, but I got a 1480, a 1530, and a 1540. And so what I did is this method called super scoring. I took the highest English score I had and the highest math score I had, and I combined them and I sent them both to try to really optimize my score, make it look a little higher than what it actually was. As for SAT subject tests, I started studying, but then COVID hit, canceled all the test appointments and all the testing, so I ended up not taking the SAT subject tests at all, and I didn't submit any score. I heard that the SAT subject tests are losing in importance anyways, so I don't think it's going to be a big part of the application like it used to be in previous admission cycles, especially during COVID. So for GPA and classes, I had a 4.0 unweighted GPA, meaning I got mostly A pluses and like some A's. My school wasn't ranked, and we didn't have weighted GPAs, we only had unweighted GPAs. I took 3 AP classes, sophomore and junior year, and the rest of the classes I took were honors. I got 5s on all the exams, so I got a 5 on AP Psych, A Push, and AP World History. And my senior year, I decided to really ramp it up, and I took 4 APs, so currently right now, I'm taking 4 APs. I'm taking AP Macro, AP Lit, AP Calculus BC, and AP Bio, and that's just to collect college credits and stuff at Cornell. I think my advice for the classes is to obviously do well in them, but to also go to the colleges that you're interested in and seeing what sort of classes and what subjects they require. Most Ivy Leagues, they require 4 years of math, 4 years of science, and 4 years of English, 3 years of a foreign language as well. So that's what I made sure that my schedule aligned with what they recommended, because like when a college recommends something, they basically are requiring it. So moving on to activities, I feel like this is where I probably stood out, and not to toot my own horn, but I think I did some impressive things as a high school student. My first activity was that I was the co-founder of the student initiative called Opportunities. Opportunities is basically a student organization dedicated to connecting high school students with internships and college-ready programs. We also hosted community projects like the prep book exchange that actually got us on the news, so I'll put a link to the article there. Talking about my psychology brand that I was trying to build, the summer of my junior year, I was lucky enough to be a research intern at MIT's Early Childhood Cognition Lab, and through there I worked with cognitive scientists, and we analyzed data and we helped contribute to the study about infants. It was a really exciting experience because I was working in a lab virtually and I was actually contributing to the scientific world, and it's one of my favorite experiences that I was able to do as a high school student. During the same time, I was also a social media intern for a local nonprofit. What I did there was that I planned some Instagram posts, some Facebook posts, some YouTube posts, and I also helped them design some of their web pages. I also did sports in high school, so I added that I did varsity ping pong my freshman, sophomore, and junior year. I included this activity not because I was like a really god tier ping pong player, but because I wanted to showcase my commitment and my dedication to this activity over 3 years, and how I showed school spirit through doing so. I also included some mentoring programs and some tutoring assignments that I did during my years at high school. I included those activities because I wanted to show my community involvement and how I was able to manage both a sport, school, and doing volunteering on the side. The next thing I want to talk about are my letters of recommendation. So I had 3 letters of recommendation. There's a common saying where it's like your junior year teachers are the ones you have to ask, but me personally, I asked my sophomore chemistry teacher because my junior year I asked if I could become a teacher's assistant, and she agreed, and I really got to know her through that. I asked her to write a letter of recommendation for me because she knew me better than most of my junior year teachers did. I wanted her to write about my leadership potential and also me as a student, like how I was. I asked my AP Psych teacher to write a letter for me because I wanted to lean into that psychology angle. And then also, I participated a lot in her class. I knew that she could write about my interest in psychology and sort of my grasp of the subject. The third letter of recommendation is from my guidance counselor. Shout out to her. During my junior year, every Friday I would go to her office and I would eat lunch with her and we would just talk. I think through that she was able to really get a glimpse of what my character was and what kind of student I was. And I asked her to write it because she was able to dive deep into my academic performance all throughout high school and the things I was involved in all throughout high school. The next section, awards. My school didn't have that many opportunities for awards. Like, we only had one National Honor Society, which I was a member of, and I put that as one of my honors. I was also an AP Scholar because I got 5s on 3 exams. So you get an AP Scholar Award from that. And my junior year, I took the PSATs and I scored a 1480. My selection index was at the qualifying state, and so I was a National Merit semifinalist, and then I became a National Merit finalist. And finally, essays. I think essays are a really important part, and I think it was a big part in my application. So for my Common App essay, it's a pretty personal topic, but I wrote about how being an older sister has developed my outlook in life. Aww. And how being an older sister has prepared me to go to college because it made me a role model and I wasn't afraid to take risks. My advice for the Common App is to write about something personally you, and don't worry about being quirky or unoriginal because you just want to show them who you are, and your style of writing is original enough already. I would also recommend having someone look over your essay before you submit it, obviously. That's kind of one thing I regretted, like I didn't have people looking over my supplemental essays, but there's no point in dwelling in the past. So Cornell has 7 different undergraduate colleges, and I applied to the College of Arts and Science. And so the prompt goes something like, hold up, I'm gonna read it right now. It goes, students in the arts and sciences embrace the opportunity to delve into multifaceted academic interests, embodying in 21st century terms Ezra Cornell's Any Person, Any Study founding vision. Tell us about the areas of study you are excited to explore, and specifically why you wish to pursue them in our college. So my advice for supplemental essays is to just give them what they're asking for. So this question's asking, tell us about the areas of study you're excited to explore and why you want to explore it at Cornell. So I wrote about my interest in psychology and neuroscience and cognitive science and how I wanted to major and minor in those respectively. Since the prompt was like 650 words, I only had like 400 words, so I had to grab another thing that I wanted to study. And I saw they also had a minor for like East Asian and Asian American studies. So I wrote I wanted to explore that part of my identity and I wanted to explore it in an academic setting. I wrapped it up nicely referring back to the quote, any person, any study, and I wrote that because of the college's commitment to upholding that founding vision, I know that I could study whatever I want at Cornell and I can get a great education at Cornell. So what I would advise for you guys to do is to go to the college website of the school that you're applying to and read their language and what they're trying to emphasize throughout their website. I'm not saying to copy exactly what they're writing, but I think that you should reference what they think is important. So Cornell is really into that any person, any study, and then I put that in my essay. I was like, I'm a person and I can do any study. I think my closing advice would be to work hard, get good grades, get good test scores because those are invaluable. Be involved in places and things that you want to be involved in, and to form lasting relationships with your teachers and mentors in your community. So that's all I have for this video. I hope this gave you a better insight on the kind of student I was. I don't want you guys comparing yourselves to me, but like I compared my stats to the people on YouTube and on Reddit. Just know that you haven't really blossomed yet. You still have the rest of your high school career up until the time you apply to really show these colleges who you are and what you're made of. I just want to say good luck to everyone and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.